This is Sunrise Extra, streaming live on Wave Now.
Hi there. Happy Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. Olivia is extending hers. Good for her. She's going to be off all week, so that's nice.
Yeah, and she gets some warmer temperatures than we do. But here at home, I have no complaints.
No, it feels good.
Absolutely no complaints with our weather. What we're seeing right now, temperatures in the 50s across our region. We're now down to 59 degrees at the airport in Louisville. Ooh, a cool morning, but our cool spot continues to be Hardinsburg, where it's 48 degrees right now. Humidity low for every single one of us, so we're off to a gorgeous start in terms of that too. Now the storm tracker is still out at the waterfront, and this is the beautiful sunrise that we continue to enjoy right along the Ohio River. A gorgeous start to the day, that's for sure. Certainly seeing these clear skies in that shot, and also on our satellite and radar. As we continue throughout the next 12 hours, we'll end up in the 70s for highs, adding in some mid to upper level clouds, but it's still all about that sunshine and the pleasant weather for today, tomorrow, and into Wednesday. Now, for the end of the week, we could see a couple of changes. I'll talk about that in my full forecast.
All right, Tawana, thanks so much. And keeping our eye not only on one, but two headaches. We're talking about the Snyder northbound to the approach to the East End tunnels. Two reports of disabled vehicles there, so that is causing a slowdown for you this morning to keep an eye out on. But that's not all we're talking about traffic-wise. We're talking about a major roadway project this morning. It's the blasting for the $130 million project around the Watterson Expressway and US 42. Now, the road work is all to help widen the interstate in that area. You can expect roadblocks near 264 and I-71 interchange that could last up to about 20 minutes, so plan for extra time. Locals say they realize it'll be maybe a headache for a while, but the result will be worth all the hassle.
The road construction is just going to go hand in hand with it to help alleviate traffic. I think it's a long time coming. This is all going to be good in the long run. It's just going to be a bumpy road for about 2 years.
And that's for all of us. By the way, the blasting work itself will happen between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. That is starting today. Also to tell you about, crews will begin a maintenance project on the I-65 South off-ramp bridge. That's at exit 136 in downtown Louisville. A bridge deck is being replaced there. That'll reduce that bridge to a single lane. Shannon?
Thank you. A jury trial is set to start today for two men charged in connection to a deadly shooting at a former Highlands business. Marquise Ward and Dante Smith are accused of killing Theodore Brown Jr. inside Cafe 360 on Bardstown Road in March of 2024. Ward is charged with murder and robbery. Smith is charged with robbery and assault. Police say both men got into an argument with Brown and another man at Cafe 360. Punches were thrown. Brown was shot. The two will be in court this morning at 10. The man accused of shooting and killing a transgender woman at the JBS parking lot in 2023 will be back in court today. Police say Heriberto Reyes went to the food processing plant in Butchertown, where 26-year-old Zashay Imani Tuitaho worked. Friends told us she was a transgender woman from Rwanda. Officers said video showed Reyes shooting her once in the head and then two more times while she was on the ground. Reyes turned himself into the police shortly after. His pretrial conference is set for 2:30 this afternoon. Jeffersonville police are still looking for a hit-and-run driver who killed a man over the weekend. The crash happened just before 3 Sunday morning, close to 8th Street and Roma Avenue. Investigators say a car hit 41-year-old Samuel Carlisle and then kept going. Carlisle died at the scene. The department has not released any details about the driver or what kind of car they might have been driving. If you know anything, call Jeffersonville Police. We've learned the name of the man who died after being shot multiple times at a St. Matthews apartment complex. 48-year-old Jeremy Thomas was hospitalized after the shooting at the Markham Lane apartment August 16th. Police say he died 3 days later. Investigators say his stepson, Deonice Lee Jr., shot him during a fight. Lee is charged with murder, domestic violence, and his bond is set at $1 million. Police have made an arrest in connection to a shooting near a Kentucky high school football game. Officers in Mayfield say they have taken a 14-year-old boy from Fulton into custody. He's been charged with first-degree assault and is being held at a juvenile detention center. They say Friday night he shot 18-year-old Jordan Riley in a parking lot next to War Memorial Stadium. While a game was going on, Riley was airlifted to the hospital. Investigators say he is now stable. The first of 3 men convicted convicted in Crystal Rogers' death, is now in a new jail. Nelson County jailer Justin Hall tells us Steve Lawson was transferred to LaRue County Jail last week. He says Nelson County Jail's maximum security area, where inmates with violent charges are held, has too many people in it right now. The expectation is Lawson will stay in LaRue County Jail until he's assigned to prison for his actual sentence. A jury found Lawson guilty of conspiracy to murder and tampering with physical evidence. He was sentenced to 17 years in prison for his role in Rogers' murder. A Louisville Metro Police detective is recovering after he was hurt while trying to help people escape a fire at a downtown apartment building. Now investigators say it was started by kids who live there. The fire started just after 1 p.m. Saturday at the 550 Apartments on South 8th Street. That's close to the intersection of South 9th and Muhammad Ali Boulevard. LMPD says one of their detectives saw heavy smoke coming from the building and residents panicking. Before other crews arrived, the detective went inside the building, helping people get to safety. Nobody else was inside when Louisville Fire arrived. It took them just 10 minutes and a few dozen firefighters to get the fire under control. The fire displaced 1 adult and 2 children. The detective is being treated for smoke inhalation and a burn to the arm. Investigators say it started with a pile of trash left on the property by recently evicted tenants, and they believe 2 children living in the building found a lighter inside the pile and then used it to start the fire. 2 Marion County first responders are recovering after a bad crash put them both in the hospital. Brian Hatt and Leonard Winkler with the Raywick Fire Department both suffered serious injuries when their vehicle flipped as they were responding to a scene on Friday. People from the Raywick community, as well as first responders from Marion County, gathered for a prayer vigil last night to support the fire department. Hatt and Winkler were responding to the right shoulder of the road, causing the edge of the roadway on KY 527 to collapse. Hatt was thrown from the vehicle and Winkler was entrapped. Hatt was flown to University of Louisville Hospital with life-threatening injuries. Winkler was flown to University of Kentucky Hospital with severe injuries. Bullitt County firefighter Michael Wright says firefighters from across the state are coming together to support the men.
We just want to let our firefighter families know, no matter whether it's here in Raywick or whether other departments, whenever they go through anything, that as family, we stick together as family. And we will always be here to support our family and be here for anything that they need.
As far as the men's condition, Winkler is recovering at University of Kentucky Hospital and joined Sunday's vigil over video call. Hatt is still in the ICU. Today is the last day for community groups in Louisville to apply for a new grant offered by the Mayor's Office of Violence Prevention. Today is the last day for community groups to apply for that. The Newburgh Vision consists of 2 $25,000 grants to support neighborhood initiatives that will help reduce violence. The city is currently looking for nonprofit candidates, which run on budgets under $150,000 a year. You can find more information on the city's website at louisvilleky.gov. The Kentucky State Fair is now over. Yesterday was the last day, and so vendors have been busy tearing everything down, getting ready for the next event. Wave News reporter Kirsten Foote is joining us live at the fairgrounds with more. Kirsten?
Hey, Shannon, good morning to you. You know, when we got here at 4:45 this morning for a live shot, crews were already packing up and in that process of cleaning everything up. So they've been working overnight, and that work continues right now. And organizers of the fair tell me that this cleanup process started before the fair even ended on Sunday evening. They say after the World Championship Horse Show on Saturday night, horses and livestock began getting loading up and getting off of the fairgrounds here. And so when you think about it, it's like a mini city was created for the last 12 days with over 1.2 million square feet used indoors and then over 100 acres used outside. Fair organizers tell me that it's a years-long effort to plan the creation and takedown of the event.
These events like the fair have been going on for 121 years. So you learn through generations things that could be set up more effectively. And then you learn every year about maybe things you would rather do differently. So this year, just like others, it's going to be a lot of the same and teardown, but there's going to be new processes on loading out and prepping for cleanup for the next event.
And speaking of that next event, that's actually going to be the Kentucky Flea Market, which is happening this weekend. It kicks off on the 29th, so not a lot of downtime. And then right after that, we'll go into Bourbon and Beyond, which starts on Thursday, September 11th. So lots to look forward to and lots going on out here around the Kentucky Exposition Center as that cleanup process continues. Shannon, back to you.
Thank you so much. And Chick-fil-A getting ready to expand in our area. We'll tell you where they're headed ahead on Sunrise Extra. Police are trying to determine what triggered false reports of an active shooter on the University of South Carolina's campus. Students were told to shelter in place while police investigated reports of an active shooter near the library. Police say there was no shooter nor signs of a shooting, but it led to panic. Students. A university spokesperson said there were 2 minor injuries, too, related to the evacuation of the library.
We're all just crouching on the kitchen, and for maybe 5 minutes, and someone barricaded one of the doors with a huge fridge.
You know, you don't think this thing's going to happen to you, and then all of a sudden you're hiding behind a fridge because there's an active shooter a building away from you.
Yesterday's incident comes just days after false reports of an active shooter at Villanova University. Hundreds of homes in Northern California's wine country and Central Oregon are under evacuation orders and warnings as firefighters battle wildfires. More than 1,200 firefighters backed by 10 helicopters are battling the California fire. It's already charred about 10 square miles of Napa County. About 150 people were ordered to leave their homes, while another 360 were under evacuation warnings as the fire threatened 500 structures. The cause of the fire is under investigation. One of the world's most active volcanoes is once again putting on quite a show. The U.S. Geological Survey says Hawaii's Mount Kilauea erupted over the weekend. This is the 31st eruption since last December. This latest eruption was contained within the summit's crater. New this morning, Chick-fil-A is planning to bring a new location to New Albany. Our partners at the News and Tribune report the fast food chain is planning to open a new restaurant on Joseph Road near Charlestown Road. According to plans submitted to the city's planning and zoning department, the restaurant will include a drive-through. It'll have more than 100 seats inside. They currently have a location in New Albany on State Street. All right, here is Tawana right now, and I cannot believe these temps that we're looking at this morning, huh?
Yeah, 59 degrees right now in Louisville.
Wow.
We usually do not see this really, very rarely do we see temperatures this cool in the month of August. So, hey, I'm thriving in it right now. What we are seeing on our SkyTrack camera, the sun is now up. A beautiful start to the day, not just with the looks, but how it feels too. Of course, I mentioned it's 59 degrees at the airport in Louisville. It's 48 though for those of you in Hardinsburg, 50 in Corydon now, 54 in LaGrange, seeing 53 degrees in Bardstown. Our sticky meter shows that everybody's in that pleasant category as humidity remains low across the region. Also talking about clear skies for every single one of us as we patiently wait for some clouds off towards our west to try to drift in throughout the day, but overall, most of us just getting to enjoy that sunshine. So over the next 12 hours, we'll end up in the 70s for your highs. Most of us will be in the mid 70s later on this afternoon, a touch cooler for those of you in southern Indiana. We'll add in some of those clouds to the afternoon and evening. Now we're going to see our typical cumulus clouds, so those really fluffy clouds, those are going to stick around this afternoon. But as we head into the evening, we'll add more of the upper level clouds overhead as well. But here's the thing, all of this is going to clear out once we get into the overnight early tomorrow morning, leaving behind clear skies and more of those cool temperatures. Yes, tomorrow, the majority of us waking up to 50s, but we could see some of those upper 40s showing up as well for your Tuesday morning. Now, Justin, just getting in this update in terms of our pollen counts for the next couple of days. Yeah, we're still talking about the grass pollen on the lower side, but check out the weeds. Yes, ragweed will become more of an issue. Going to see those levels on the high side as we head throughout the rest of the week and into the weekend. So if you were having issues with allergies before, yeah, it's not getting better, but at least the weather's nice. We can enjoy that over the next couple of days. Highs in the 70s through your Wednesday, jumping into the low 80s in the metro for the end of the week and into the weekend. But keep in mind, most of us can be sitting in the 70s for highs through the rest of the week. Now, once we get into next week, we'll be keeping an eye on a couple of systems that will try to bring some rain chances. As of right now, those rain chances looking pretty low. But what the modeling is agreeing on a general warming trend towards the middle of next week. But overall, we just look to see highs in the 80s. And I did look at some of the long-term modeling, and even then, as we head into the first full week of September, still not seeing 90s in our forecast. So it looks like we get to keep this around for a while.
Nice, thanks. This week starts a new plan that Louisville city leaders hope will help reduce the number of vacant and abandoned properties in this city. It is called the Land Bank Arama Open House Series. It's happening Tuesday through Thursday. It's hosted by the Louisville Land Bank Authority. Each day, the authority will showcase vacant and abandoned properties in a specific neighborhood. Land Bank staff will be on site at each location answering questions regarding the acquisition process, eligibility requirements, and redevelopment guidelines. Mayor Greenberg says transforming these properties will boost safety and reduce crime. Here's a look at that full schedule. On Tuesday, properties in the Portland neighborhood will be highlighted. On Wednesday, open houses will be in the Park Hill, Parkland, and Chickasaw neighborhoods. Properties in the Russell neighborhood will be in the spotlight Thursday. We have more information about which properties will be shown in this story on wave3.com. Nonprofit Change Today, Change Tomorrow is looking for a new donor to help them feed the community. For the last 5 years, the group has had a sponsorship with KFC Broadway. In that time, they provided 100 meals every month for people in our community. But that partnership will be ending this December because of internal business changes for KFC. Now, Change Today, Change Tomorrow is looking for a new sponsor. They're hoping to find another corporate sponsor, ideally based in Louisville, to start another 5-year commitment. A similar setup would allow the organization to deliver a total of 6,000 meals over the next few years. Thanks to a generous donation, the Louisville Orchestra will be able to bring the gift of music to families across the community. Ford Motor Company invested $50,000 to support Once Upon an Orchestra. It's a free family-focused program that'll come to more than a dozen branches of the Louisville Free Public Library this season. Their works will be inspired by classic children's books, such as The Very Hungry Caterpillar and If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. The first performance will be at the library's main branch on October 18th. Starting at 3 o'clock. Coming up, you'll see how a tennis pro is helping a current U of L tennis player reach his academic goals. You have a chance to win one of the largest Powerball jackpots in the history of the game. Tonight's jackpot is up to $750 million. That is the 10th largest in the game's history. If there is a winner, they have the choice to take a $750 million prize or the lump sum payment estimated at about $338 million before taxes. Of course, the goal of any sports team is to win a national championship. Now a local group of lacrosse players have a chance to do that. They'll be representing Kentucky as they take on teams from across the country. L4 Lacrosse is made up of student athletes from St. X, Trinity, and North Oldham. They have now officially qualified to play in the U.S. Box National Championship. We stopped by one of their practices to see how they feel going into such a big event.
I know for sure that the hard work that we've been putting in last couple of weeks, I mean, our practices have been good, and we've been coached by very well. So I think we're well prepared.
They'll head up to Columbus, Ohio for the national competition on Labor Day weekend. A U of L tennis player is getting help from one of the sport's top players. Russell Loco is a rising junior at U of L and has been playing tennis since he was 4. The sport has taken him all around the country for junior tournaments, which landed him at U of L on a partial scholarship. However, that would change after he met one of the best tennis players in the world, Frances Tiafoe. He awarded Loco a $30,000 scholarship to fully cover the cost of his last 2 years of college.
I didn't know it was going to be a scholarship that he was going to give me. They just told me I was going to follow him around for a couple days, hit with him a little bit. It takes a lot of pressure off my parents, like they don't have to pay anything.
Oh, I bet. Now, with school back in session and practices ramping up, he looks forward to whatever his collegiate career might bring him. He says sky's the limit. Hundreds of skydivers who took to the skies in Illinois this past week to set a new world record. After 5 days of challenging weather conditions, 174 people broke the 164-wave vertical world record that was set 10 years ago. Look at how cool that shot is. Wow. A second group attempted to accomplish a goal of their own. They tried to break the 250-way Illinois state record, where they fly in the belly-to-earth position. The group consisted of elite skydivers from 53 countries. Wow. It just looks so beautiful, too, doesn't it? It is now 7:23, and we're going to take a quick break. More coming up.
This Wave News Update is sponsored by Oxmoor Auto Group.
Good morning, I'm Shannon Kogan. Right now, Jeffersonville police are still looking for a hit-and-run driver who killed a man over the weekend. The crash happened just before 3 Sunday morning, close to 8th Street and Roma Avenue. Investigators say a car hit 41-year-old Samuel Carlisle and then kept going. Carlisle died at the scene. The department has not released any details about the driver or what kind of car they may have been driving, but if you know anything, call Jeffersonville Police. Starting off this week on a cool note, and we're really not going to warm up very much.
No, we are not. We're going to be seeing 70s later on today, but at least we get plenty of sunshine for this afternoon. Right now, seeing the crisp blue skies and that sun beaming down on our SkyTrack camera in downtown Louisville. Almost everyone sitting in the 50s to start off the day, with one exception. Hardinsburg, you're currently at 48 degrees. Humidity low, so that means, yes, everybody in that pleasant category on our sticky meter do not have to worry about that August humidity at all for today. Once we get into the afternoon, we'll add in some of those clouds across the area, but still keeping that sunshine in the forecast with highs in the 70s. Those clouds will clear on out for tonight. And by the way, in terms of your allergy report, yeah, we're going to keep the weed pollen counts on the medium to high side for the rest of the week. So ragweed will become more and more of an issue as the week goes along, especially with the fact that we're going to have some slightly breezy conditions and high pressure in place, keeping an eye on a couple of isolated rain chances once we get into next week. Rob?
Tawana, thanks so much. Keeping an eye on the traffic out there this morning. Not too bad, but we do have 2 slowdowns to tell you about. This affecting the Snyder North. 2 of those areas at the Lewis and Clark Bridge. Also, Snyder North at the East End Tunnel. We have delays there because of disabled vehicles, so give yourself a lot of extra time if you're heading through that area. Otherwise, we'll see you back here in about 25 minutes.